Okay, so for a little bit of service maintenance on the GS, as I spoke of before, this is a new recent development, a leaky fork seal, upper fork seal, right hand side. So a fair amount of research online shows that this shouldn't be too difficult to get apart, so let's figure this out. Well, I almost forgot to put it on the center stand, but I did. She can move freely. She's loaded to the back, to the rear, full boxes. This cap pops off super easy. Just used a large pry bar, trying to use a rag to protect all the surfaces. Pop that nut off right there, simply by holding this from spinning with a large wrench and a 14mm socket. With the easy push of your hand, down it goes. No pressure against it. Oh cool, and here's what I wasn't sure of, is whether it was going to travel freely enough by itself without disconnecting the forks. But yeah, looks like there you go. It's getting all cockeyed and cattywampus, but sure enough, it's free. Sure enough, it's free to move. Try not to jack this up. Wow. Well, if that's all there is to it, it couldn't be any easier than that. I was afraid you were gonna have to loosen this clamp, take out your axle, etc., etc. And no, man, it just twists right free. Look at that. Now, let's pull this thing out and see if she's dirty inside. Sure hope a whole bunch of springing and sprunging pieces don't fly out into oblivion. Come on, little baby. A little bit of a vacuum there. She broke free. Come on now. A little bit of oil. Well, there you have it. What a beauty. Don't want to drop or bend or scratch that, do we? One little port. Tuck down the inside of that. There's no Mars or anything else on that, so that's primo. Got a safe place for that. Got my Mondo Nebo Big Daddy. Well, lots of fluid down in there. Hopefully don't have to worry too much about too much having spilled out. I don't suppose there's a whole lot of hope I can have other than just trying to wipe down the seal surface itself and just hope that it seals back up, which I expected it would. 30,000 miles on this bike seals shouldn't be going out. I guess it's not totally unheard of, but from what I gather, it's not too hard of a task to change out those seals. It looks like maybe a snap ring. That upper shiny part there might be a upper snap ring or something like that, but let's see if I can feel any dirt or anything like that. The only thing I managed to pull out was some grease around that seal surface. Let me dig in a little further. Well, oh, what's this, you ask? That's the FJ40 transfer case in the process of being rebuilt, and the transmission's already rebuilt. Anyways, I don't have any good synthetic grease on hand that I can recall. Take that back. What I've got here is some synthetic oil, some assembly lube. I think I'll go ahead and use that and wipe this fully down, but no, didn't find anything other than maybe a couple hairs. It would have been a potential culprit, so not really too much in the way of marks on this thing, so I think it's good to go. Okay, so upon a little bit further inspection, what I've seen here is, it's probably hard to see in camera, but there's an area that's quite smoothed right there. Those tiny little grooves you can maybe see. I don't have any concern about those, but it's a bit smooth right there. So what I'm gonna try to do is just take this Scotch-Brite pad to it, try to maybe roughen it up just a teeny tiny bit. Scotch-Brite pad very, very gently, just to kind of take away that highly polished surface and return it back to kind of to match the rest of it basically. So we're gonna stick it back on. So I've cleaned it out as best I can with my fingers and a lint-free paper towel here, shop towel, and that seal is essentially about as clean as it could get. Now, I didn't detect any sort of nicks, rough spots, flips, folds overs, the spring missing, anything like that. So, as far as I can tell, it's a really good seal. So, let's stick it back in. We're gonna hope for the best. This tiny little bit of assembly lube to keep this seal in good shape.
I'm assuming you're gonna come in and eat, or you're gonna eat out here?
Is that where that goes?
I'll come in and
Are you sure that's where that goes?
yeah, it's in there pretty good.
Almost like it was designed for it?
Yeah.
Hey, you want a chocolate pie?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, whereas there was a vacuum on the removal, there was positive pressure on the install. So I don't know how we're ever going to get that pressure out. I'm sure that that pressure is going to be pushing against for a while until I work it through, pushing oil out of the system. So I'm not sure if the leak will go away right away, but okay, there's nothing to it. Slide the thing back in, put your nut back on. That's a wrap. Keep you posted. Well, gang, good news. Took it for a half-mile ride, cycled the suspension quite a bit, and seems nice and dry. So I'm not going to post this video until I've taken it down the road for several miles, but pretty confident that did the trick. The only thing that I saw in that was that grease was maybe a little hardened, and not really though, but and like a hair. It was like a freaking hair, a piece of hair or something, but that's the only thing I saw. So let's hope for the best. Colorado trips to go. All right, 15 miles later, ultimate test. Look at that, dudes. Dry as a bone. Primo. It worked. No seal replacement necessary, at least for now. Can't guarantee that 5 more miles from now it won't need one, but we're back in business, man.